What if one man single-handedly tried to destroy thousands of years of religion, rewrite history, and rule as the sole prophet of a single god, and nearly succeeded? What if that man wore the double crown of Egypt, commanded armies, and built an entirely new city from scratch just to prove his point? And what if that man might be connected to one of the most famous figures in all of Scripture? This is the story of Akhenaten. And almost everything about him was erased on purpose. Egypt in the 14th century BC was not just a civilization. It was a universe unto itself. The priests of Ammonius were so powerful that they controlled more land and wealth than the pharaoh himself. The temples stretched from Karnak to Luxor. Thousands of gods filled every corner of Egyptian life. Ra, Osiris, Isis, Horus, Anubis. Every city had its patron deity. Every breath of Egyptian existence was tied to a vast and ancient religious machine. Then came Amenhotep IV. Born into the royal family of the 18th dynasty, he was not supposed to be pharaoh. His older brother was the heir. But the brother died young, and Amenhotep found himself wearing the crown of the most powerful civilization on earth. He had a strange appearance by all artistic accounts. An elongated skull, wide hips, a long narrow face. Scholars have debated for over a century whether this was artistic symbolism or a reflection of a genuine medical condition. Whatever the cause, this was not the muscular warrior image of traditional Egyptian kingship. And his ideas were even more unusual than his appearance. Within a few years of taking the throne, Amenhotep IV did something no pharaoh had ever done before. He declared that there was only one God. Not the greatest among gods. Not the king of the gods. The only God. He called this God the Aten, represented as the disk of the sun, whose rays reached down to all living things like open hands offering life itself. He changed his own name. From Amenhotep, which honored the god Ammonius, to Akhenaten, meaning beneficial to the Aten. He shut down the temples. He redirected the wealth of the priesthood. He erased the names of other gods from monuments across Egypt. And then he did something truly extraordinary. He abandoned Thebes, the sacred capital, and built an entirely new city in the middle of the desert. He called it Akhenaten. We call it Amarna today. Built in just a few years on virgin land chosen because no other god had ever been worshipped there, Amarna became the capital of a new Egypt. A city of wide boulevards, royal palaces, temples open to the sky where sunlight could pour directly down onto the altars of the Aten. Akhenaten ruled there with his queen, the legendary Nefertiti, whose very name means the beautiful one has come. Together they presided over a revolutionary kingdom, insisting that all divine power flowed through them alone to the one God. For roughly 17 years, Akhenaten reshaped Egypt. Art changed completely. For the first time in Egyptian history, the pharaoh was shown in intimate family scenes, bouncing children on his knee, kissing his wife under the rays of the Aten. It was radical. It was human. It was unlike anything Egypt had ever seen. And then it collapsed. When Akhenaten died, the backlash was immediate and total. The priests of Ammonius returned with fury. The old gods came flooding back. His successor, a young boy whose original name honored the Aten, was renamed Tutankhamun, honoring Ammonius once again. Yes, the famous boy king was Akhenaten's own son. And even he could not save his father's legacy. Within a generation, Akhenaten's name was being chiseled off every wall. Amarna was abandoned and dismantled. His monuments were torn apart and used as filling inside other structures. The Egyptians called him the criminal of Amarna and tried to erase him from history entirely. It very nearly worked. We only rediscovered Amarna in the 19th century, buried under sand and silence for over 3,000 years. But the questions he left behind never fully disappeared. Why did this one pharaoh, alone among all rulers of Egypt, embrace monotheism? Where did this idea come from? Some historians have noted that the timeline of Akhenaten's reign overlaps with the period when, according to certain interpretations of scripture, the biblical Joseph was rising to power in Egypt. Joseph, who believed in one God. Could Akhenaten have been influenced by those ideas? Could the connection run even deeper? The evidence is circumstantial, but the conversation is electrifying, and scholars across archaeology, theology, and ancient history are still debating it today. What we know for certain is this. Akhenaten looked at the most complex religious system in the ancient world and said, "There is only one truth." He was erased for it. But the idea survived. Because ideas, unlike monuments, cannot be chiseled away. Subscribe to Kadim World for more hidden history.